Hello friends, welcome to a new video. Today we will study the thief story and that is from Footprints book. So let's start. I was still a thief when I met Anil and though only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was about 25, a tall lean fellow and he looked easygoing, kind and simple enough for my purpose. I hadn't had much luck of late and thought I might be able to get into the young man's confidence. You look a bit of a wrestler yourself, I said. A little flattery helps in making friends. So do you, he replied, which put me off for a moment because at that time I was rather thin. Well, I said modestly, I do wrestle a bit. What's your name? Hari Singh, I lied. I took a new name every month. That kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting, and throwing each other about. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away. I followed casually. Hello again, he said. I gave him my most appealing smile. I want to work for you, I said, but I can't pay you. The word meanings are lean means thin, flattery means excessive and insincere praise, modesty means in an unassuming manner without vanity or arrogance, employers means a person or organization that employs people, grunting means make a low, short, guttural sound, appealing means attractive or interesting. This is the explanation this is the meaning of the lines which we studied in the first page of the chapter. The story starts from the point where the two main characters of the story meet, Anil and the thief. The thief is the narrator of the story. The thief says that according to him, he was pretty good at stealing. Anil was watching a wrestling match when the thief approached him. Anil was a tall, lean and an easygoing man of 25. The thief had not committed any theft in the past few days as he did not get a chance. He thought that Anil would be a good man to steal things from, so he thought about getting comfortable with him. Then the thief commented on Anil that he looks like a wrestler himself. He said that to win his confidence by flattering him. To this, Anil replied that even the thief looked like a wrestler, which offended as he was very thin at that time. The thief modestly replied that he did wrestle a bit sometimes. Anil asked his name, and the narrator lied that his name was Hari Singh. The narrator used to change his name every month to escape the police and his ex-employees. Then they started talking about the well-oiled wrestlers whom they watched on the screen. The narrator did not have much to say as he did not know much about wrestling. As Anil was leaving, the narrator again approached him, asking him that he wanted to work for him. The narrator approached him with the most appealing smile that he could. Anil told him that he won't be able to pay him for this work. Let's see the next lines. I thought that how uh, I thought that over for a minute. Perhaps I had misjudged my man. I asked, "Can you feed me? Can you cook?" "I can cook," I lied again. "If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you." He took me to his room over the Jamuna sheet shop and told me I could sleep on the balcony. But the meal I cooked that night must have been terrible because Anil gave it to a stray dog and told me to be off. But I just hung around, smiling in my most appealing way, and he couldn't help laughing. Later he patted me on on the head and said, "Never mind, he'd teach me to cook." He also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write whole sentences and to add numbers. I was grateful. I knew that once I could write like an educated man, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. It was a quite pleasant working for Anil. I made the tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the day's supplies, usually making a profit of about a rupee a day. I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he did not seem to mind. Word meanings are misjudged means from a wrong opinion or conclusion about. Balcony means a platform enclosed by a wall or bla- balustrade on the outside of a building with access from an upper floor window or door. Terrible means extremely bad or serious. Patted means touch quickly and gently with the flat of the hand. Pleasant means giving a sense of happy satisfaction or enjoyment. Supplies means a stock or amount of something supplied or available for use. Let's see the meanings. And let's see the explanation of the above lines. Hari had not expected this reply and thought to himself that he had misjudged Anil as he had thought that Anil had a lot of money. The narrator then asked if he could feed him, to which Anil instantly asked if Hari could cook. Hari lied again and said yes. Anil replied that if Hari could cook, then he could feed him. Both of them went to Anil's room, which was above the Jamuna sweet shop. Anil also told Hari that he could sleep in the balcony. The narrator said that the mean that he cooked that the meal there should be meal not mean that he cooked must have been terrible as Anil had to give it to a stray dog. Then he told Hari to go. Then he uh, Then he told Hari to go and sleep, but Hari decided to stay for a while. Hari's smile was so appealing that Anil could not stop laughing looking at him. After some time, Anil patted on Hari's head and told him that he would teach him to cook. He also told him how to write his name and told him that he would soon teach him to write sentences and add numbers. Hari was grateful for what Anil had planned as he knew that there would be no limits to his work once he knew how to write. Hari enjoyed working for Anil. He used to make tea for him in the morning and then used to go out to buy groceries for the day. He would also keep 1 rupee in the pocket every day from the money and that Anil used to give him for daily groceries. Anil knew that he took a rupee every day, but he did not mind. He was fine with it. Anil made money by fits and starts. He would borrow 1 week, lend the next. He kept worrying about his next check, but as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. It seems he wrote for magazines, a queer way to make a living. One evening he came home with a small bundle of notes saying he had just sold a book to a publisher. At night I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. I had been working for Anil for almost a month and apart from cheating on the shopping had done anything in my life had not done anything in my line of work. I had every opportunity for doing so. Anil had given me a key to the door and I could come and go as I pleased. He was the most interesting person I had ever met, and that is why it was so difficult to rob him. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed, but it's difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he's been robbed, and that takes all the pleasure out of the work. Well, it's time I did some real work. I told myself I'm out of practice, and if I don't take the money, he'll only waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay me. Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stopped over the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat up on the floor considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. My hand slid under the mattress, searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. When I was on the road, I began to run. I had the notes at my waist, held there by the string of my pajamas. I slowed down to walk and counted the notes. 600 rupees in 50s. I could live like an all-rich Arab for a week or two. Word meanings fits and start means not working on something consistently. Borrow means take and use something belonging to someone else with the intention of returning it. Lend means grant to someone the use of something on the understanding that it will be returned. Queer means strange or odd. Bundle means a collection of things or quantity of material tied or wrapped up together. Tuck means push, fold, or turn the edges or ends of something, especially a garment or bedclothes, so as to hide or secure them. Line of work means the principal activity in your life that you do to earn money. Beam means a ray or shaft of light. Crept means move slowly and carefully in order to avoid being heard or noticed. Drew means pull or drag. Sigh means emit a long, deep, audible breath expressing sadness, relief, tiredness. Startled means feeling or showing sudden shock or alarm. Let's see the explanation. Anil did not have any regular income as he used to earn money by doing different activities. He did not have any fixed job. The narrator says that Anil used to be worried about his paychecks all the time, but as soon as he would receive a check, he would go out with friends and celebrate. The narrator thinks that he used to write for magazines. The narrator also thinks it to be a strange way to make money. Then suddenly one evening Anil came home with some money and told Hari that he had just sold a book to a publisher. Before going to bed, Anil put the money under his mattress and Hari saw him putting the money there. Hari thought that he had been working for Anil for almost a month now and he had not cheated him apart from the 1 rupee that he used to take out daily. The narrator also thinks that he had every chance to steal as Anil had given him the key to his room as well and he could come and go whenever he wished to do so. Hari had been trusted upon by Hari the most. Hari had not been trusted upon by anyone else in his life. This was the only thing that was stopping Hari from stealing as Hari thought that it is way easy to rob a greedy man because has the capability or the money to get robbed as he knows about what he has lost. But for a careless man like Anil, there was no use to steal as they sometimes don't even came to know that they have been robbed. Also, Hari feels that when someone doesn't come to know that he has been robbed, then there is no fun left in robbing him. Then Hari decided that he would start with some work. He had not robbed anyone for a long time. He also justified his act of stealing Anil's money by telling himself that if he didn't steal it, then also Anil would waste it on his friends. He also thought that he had a right over the money as Anil didn't even pay him for the work he used to do. Hari started his work when Anil was sleeping. There was a little bit light over Anil's bed. Because of the moonlight that was coming in from the window, Hari sat on the floor and planned if he could take the money and he could leave the city by the 10:30 p.m. Lucknow express train. Hari then crawled towards the bed and slipped his hand slowly inside the bed mattress. He looked at Anil who was sleeping peacefully without a single line on his face and Hari's face had so many scars on it. He realized that although he was much younger than Anil, he had such a bad appearance due to his wrong thinking. On the other hand, Anil was carefree and thought good for others, because of which he had such a nice face. Hari then took out the notes without making any sound. Anil took a breath in his sleep and turned his side. He was directly facing Hari, which scared him a bit, and Hari quickly left the room. As soon as Hari left the room and was on the road, he started running and had kept the notes in his pajamas. He had tied it with the string of pajamas. Then after a while Harry slowed down and counted the notes. He had 12 notes of 50 rupee, which each weight made with 600 rupees. Then Harry thought to himself that with his much money he could live a luxurious life like an Arabian sheikh for at least 2 weeks. When I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life but flashed straight to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. The train had still had to pick up speed and I should have been able to jump into the one of the carriages but I hesitated for some reason I can't explain and I lost the chance to get away. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. I have no idea where to spend night. I had no friends, believing the friends were more trouble than help, and I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear. The rich man showed anger. The poor man showed acceptance, but I knew that Anil's face when he discovered the theft would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of money but for the loss of trust. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly, it was early November, and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin, and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. Word meanings are dash means quickly ran towards something, carriages means any of the separate sections of a train that carry passenger, hesitated means pause in an indecision before saying or doing something, deserted means of a place empty of people, curious means eager to know or learn something, robbed means take property unlawfully from a person or place by force or threat of force, Bazaar means market, Maidan means a park, drizzle means light rainfall falling in very fine drops. When Hari reached the station, he straight away went to the platform without buying a ticket as he had never bought a ticket in his life. He had always travelled without a ticket. When he reached the platform, the Lucknow Express in which he had to go was just leaving the platform. The train was still slow, so he could have easily jumped and got on one of the carriages, but he did not do so. There was a bit of hesitation in him. Even he didn't understand why he had the hesitation inside him, and because of that he could not board the train. After some time, when the train had left, Hari found himself all alone at the empty platform. Hari did not know where would he spend the night. He did not have any friends whom he could go to as he used to think that friends were more of a trouble than being helpful. He did not even want to stay at any of the small hotels as that would attract attention. He knew only one person very well and that he robbed him as well. As Hari was walking through the bazaar after leaving the station, he was thinking of his observations as a thief. In a short career span, he had realized that although everybody from rich to poor shows different reactions to losing their goods, but Anil would only be a little sad. That too would not be because he lost his money, but because he had lost trust and that he had on Hari. He would be sad that he trusted someone so much and the person that had betrayed him. Hari was walking. When he reached a park, he sat on a bench. As it was the month of November, the night was a bit chilly, and then the drizzle added to the discomfort that Hari was going through. It started raining quite heavily, and Hari's shirt and pajamas stuck to his body. Cold wind was blowing across Hari's face. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of a clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. Anil's money in the morning. He would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema, but now I had it all. I couldn't cook his meals, run to the bazaar to learn write whole sentences anymore. I'd forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentences I knew could one day bring me more than a few hundred rupees. It was a simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and respected man, was something else. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. I hurried, I hurried back to the room, feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway. In clouded moonlight, Anil was sleeping. Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed, and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. I awoke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50-rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you will be paid regularly. My spirits rose. But when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Today we'll start writing sentences, he said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. Word meanings: shelter means a place giving temporary protection from bad weather or danger. Clock tower means a tower typically forming part of a church or civic building with a large clock at the top. Midnight means 12 o'clock at night. Damp means slightly wet. Cinema means a theater where films are shown for public entertainment. Hurried means done in a hurry or rushed. Undetected means not detected or discovered. Clouded means make or become less clear or transparent. Let's see the explanation. Then Hari went back towards the bazaar, sat under the shelter of the clock tower to escape getting wet. It was 12 o'clock by the clock tower. Hari checked the notes and they were wet. Then again Hari started thinking that it was Anil's money, and if he had not stolen it, Anil would have surely given him 2 to 3 rupees to go for a movie. But now, as he had stolen it, he had it all. Now he won't be able to make tea or to go do groceries for Anil anymore, nor he would be able to learn or to write whole sentences ever. He had not realized that he would be losing all these in excitement of stealing the money. He knew that if he could learn to read and write, he could earn much more money than these few hundred rupees, and that too honestly. He knew that it was very easily to steal something from someone, but sometimes it is very easy to get caught as well. He knew that if he learned to read and write, he could surely become a big, respected man one day. Then Hari told himself that he should go back if he wanted to learn to read and write, and also if he wanted to be a big man one day. Hari went back to Anil's room and was very nervous because he knew that it was much more difficult to return to stolen things without being caught than actually stealing it. Hari went to the hallway and stood there as the moonlight was still falling over the bed. Anil was still asleep. Hari went near the head of the bed and took out the notes. As he was going near the mattress, his head his hand could feel Anil's breath on his hand. Hari became still for a moment, found the edge of the mattress and finally and finally found the edge of the mattress and finally slipped the notes under it. The next morning, Hari woke up a little late and Anil had already made the tea. By then, Anil extended his hand towards Hari and had a 50-rupee note in his hand. Hari thought he had been caught. Then suddenly Anil explained that he had made some money the day before, so he was giving him 50 rupees. He also said that he would be paying Hari regularly. Hari was really happy, but when he took the note in his hand, he saw that it was still wet from last night. He also told Hari day was that day he would teach him how to write complete sentences. Hari realized that Anil had come to know that he had stolen money and kept it back. But the great thing that happened was that he did not let it show on his face or his words. Hari again smiled at Anil in his most appealing way, and Anil's smile also came to his face without any effort. So, friends, our chapter ends over here. If you like the video, please, if you understand the full chapter, you please like the video and subscribe my channel. If you have any queries or any doubts, you can mention in the comment box. Every chapter has two assignments, and this chapter also has two assignments. If you want the assignments, you can refer to the description box. Thank you, friends, for watching the video. Hope you understand the full chapter. Thank you. We'll meet in the next video.